Thomas Cornelius. Hi. Thomas, to you first. What are your members' critical concerns around climate and sustainability?
The cement and concrete is one of the big footprints of this world. I mean, we say it's about 7% of the global CO2 footprint. So obviously, the key concern on sustainability is about how do we decarbonize, right? So I think that's at the core of the priorities of our members. And in particular, we did a survey with all our members, to the CEOs, and all the CEOs of the sectors ranked climate change in the top 3 priorities of their journey. So that's really a daily concern on how we will make the transition, on how we will work. More specifically, with the GCCA, we do represent 80% of the cement sector, and we have made a commitment. The sector has made a commitment to go on to achieve the net zero by 2050, in line with the Paris Agreement as a whole, and we have defined the pathway through the roadmap that we have published 1 year ago.
Cornelius, talk to me about the importance of partnerships and collaboration.
I think partnerships and collaboration is critical to pull this off, especially in the cement and concrete sector. Let me give you 2 examples. One, we've had a great collaboration and partnership with GCCA and the World Economic Forum, bringing together players from across the value chain, planners, cement OEMs, producers, construction firms, and real estate, to really think through the levers and to find the pockets where change in practices, new technologies, etc., can come to play and reduce emissions. And it's that horizontal conversation that is so important. And second, just yesterday, the First Movers Coalition launched an announcement around cement and concrete, where corporates from across the world are making commitments to procure low carbon concrete for their projects. Again, fostering collaboration across the value chain and making bold announcements around demand creation. So bringing together the parties involved with cement and concrete is really, really critical.
So that's partnerships and collaboration. What about technology? How's that being used by cement companies to address climate concerns?
It's an important factor. I would consider, 2 different sections in technology. We have the technologies that are kind of already proven, and it's more about adoption, on making it work everywhere, and scale it up everywhere of the world, to make sure that the progress on the good practice that exists in certain countries are really moved forward on taken by the other part of the world. This is about circularity mainly. This is about decarbonated through the product with some of the technologies. An important aspect here is that 80% of the cement consumptions is not in the developed world. It's in the developing countries, Global South and China. And that makes the notion of scalability on transfer of technology very important for these countries. We need to give technologies available to these countries. The second leg of technology is about innovation, I would say. And there again, we have two parts. One is on product. So there is a lot of development on new product, new chemistries, in particular to reduce and to do what we call low carbon cement. And that's a fundamental part, to reduce the footprint of the initial product and to do everything we can in getting lower in that. A technology like calcined clay, for example, is something new that where we are working with in partnership with different people to actually extend the reach and to teach people how this can be worked. And the second innovation is about carbon capture, use and store, which is the technology to go near zero, to go net zero, the final one. So when we have done all the effort to actually reduce the footprint, the individual footprint of the cement or the concrete per ton or per cubes, we have this technology which is available, for which in this organization and government are investing in. We have seen what the Americans have done with the IRA. We have seen in Europe what they are doing with the Innovation Fund. And that's a technology also that will be made available and that will mature in the developed countries and that will be made available to the Global South as a development.
Finally, Cornelius, what's the role of public procurement in achieving climate goals?
Yeah, that's a really, really important point and a big lever, because if you look at the global picture, public procurement stands for almost half of global concrete consumption. So there's a opportunity, if you will, to bring together NDA, national commitments, with the transition to low carbon building materials. There are some obstacles as well, of course. There's the cost aspect. A lot of the demand in public procurement is also happening in emerging markets. So there's a high cost sensitivity. There's a question around building codes and regulations. It's very time consuming and difficult to make the changes and to kind of work with individual, very decentralized procurement teams and departments across different levels of government. And then lastly, there's also a question around testing and reliability. This is for projects that last 30, 40, 50 years. And some of the new blends and materials are maybe not tested just yet. So there is need for scrutiny and that needs to be sped up. I mean, we can't do 20 years of testing, of course. So those would be three challenges in that space. And at the same time, with again collaboration maybe across nations and developing nations, that could be a lever to really make a big difference with regard to the overall emissions.
Cornelius, Thomas, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.